Hey everyone, and welcome back to another community update. Today we're looking at the new anniversary update for Bellwright. Can you believe it's already been a year since Bellwright launched into early access? To celebrate this milestone, the team has dropped a massive update packed with exciting new features and improvements. And in this video, we're going to break down the key additions and the design thinking behind them. So, let's get into it. Let's kick things off with a main feature many of you have been eagerly anticipating: animal husbandry. Of course, what's a good medieval game without some livestock? This update allows you to bring animals into your settlement where they can grow and even breed. You'll need to manage their food and stress levels, and each animal has individual stats like vitality and resilience, which will directly impact the resources that they provide. While resources are an important part of the gameplay, we really wanted this feature to have a lot of effort put into the immersive elements of it, such as having animals walking around your settlement, with cows mooing in the distance, or cats meowing as you walk past. We had a lot of changes with this feature along the way, particularly when it comes to obtaining your first animal. Initially, we just teleported them to the nearest barn, but realized it's important you actually escort them yourself, and added fast travel to make it a bit less tedious. These animals can then be raised over time and butchered for meat when the time is right. Speaking of which, you can now carry those carcasses back to a butchery station to get even more valuable resources. And for those special animals that you want to keep that are near and dear to your heart, you can now mark them as protected to make sure they stay safe. The butchery station is your go-to spot for skinning animals, since it gives a much higher yield when doing so. Rabbits and fish can be brought here alongside larger game like deer, pigs, and wolves that can be hung on the butchery rack for processing. The visuals of actually carrying these animals around your settlement is something we really focused on in this update, aiming to make your towns feel more alive and immersive. We're hoping to expand on these visual touches even further in our future updates. But that's not all on the resource front. You can now grab a fishing rod and try your luck in any body of water deep enough. We wanted to add this feature for quite a while and constantly had debates whether it should be a UI-based minigame or just a relaxing activity. In the end, we had a trade-off of different minigames that could be engaged intuitively. So instead of hitting a wall of difficulty, there's a level of progression that slowly raises the bar as you go. Plus, there's a whole range of new fish to discover, each specific to different water types. The weight as a fish will even vary, so get ready to brag about your biggest catch. The library is a brand new building designed to automatically help villagers read. We added this when we noticed our storage being so full of books that could be better used by our companions, and wanted to introduce reading as an activity. Initially, we considered including it as part of our job priority system, but ultimately we decided to give villagers some spare time before going to sleep to read. We're really pleased with how this helps the immersive elements of your settlement. Now, for those of you who like to lead your companions into battle, the next feature is a game changer: saved squad rosters, which you can now set up your favorite combat groups or organize your villagers into specific groups for different tasks. This allows you to quickly assemble the right teams, whether you need a dedicated defense force or a specialized resource gathering crew. This builds upon previous updates like the staging grounds and weapon and armor templates, making it faster and more efficient than ever to gear up and head out. Beyond these major additions, the anniversary update is packed with tons of smaller changes that contribute significantly to the overall immersion and customization of your settlements. These include things like the new decorations, giving you more options to personalize the look and feel of your towns, tradable merchants that you'll now encounter traveling between settlements, opening up new trading opportunities, and new achievements, which offer plenty of options to tackle new features and existing gameplay. The team has also been working hard behind the scenes to polish the game world and its inhabitants. You'll immediately notice that animals now react more to your presence. Deer in particular had their behavior refined to respond more dynamically to your movement. The goal was not to make it easier to hunt, but less tedious and more understandable for players. Individually, we've made some great improvements to the old boar model. We now have a brand new, more realistic one, along with updated visuals for rabbits and crows. So keep an eye out for next time when you manage to snipe a bird. To further enhance your immersion, the character interactions and deaths have been given some attention. When a character falls in battle, their weapon will now realistically drop from their hands, accompanied by a wider variety of new and more convincing death animations. Additionally, your villagers are now more animated in their daily tasks, with new visuals for eating, reading, and skinning at the new butchery station, and even stirring those delicious-looking stews in the cauldrons. To make sure you don't miss it, your character now wakes up at the same time as your hard-working villagers. Managing your growing settlements should also feel better and more intuitive. Villagers will now be more diligent about dropping off or storing any items they're carrying before they turn in for the night. And for the larger towns, you'll appreciate the improvements to villager navigation, making the hustle and bustle feel a little less chaotic. You'll also be happy to hear about some significant quality of life updates. The barn and warehouse have received substantial increases in their storage capacity, and the food cellar can now hold even more. You could also put the tavern and inn to better use with a new pot specifically for cheese production. Finally, we've been working behind the scenes to stay up to date with all the newest technology. We now support DLSS 4 with multi-frame generation and FSR 3.1.3 for those of the latest RX 9000 series graphics cards. And on top of all that, there's been some technical updates to the visual side of things so that nights have now been made darker and you'll see blood effects appear on clothing when you take damage, along with loot markers now fading out as you get closer to them. And that's about all for the anniversary update for Bellwright. The team has poured a ton of passion and hard work into these new features and improvements, and we are incredibly excited for all of you to jump in and experience them firsthand. We're always keeping an eye out on your feedback on our Discord, so if you experience any bugs, it's best to report them on there. You can also do so at playbellwright.com/support. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time.
Take this cow home, she's cleaner than half the villagers I've met.